Hi guys, today I want to bring with you and share with you the things that I think you need as a new homeschooler in order to homeschool and the things you don't. I'll see you after the intro. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma. In here I like to talk anything that has to do with homeschool, sprinkle a little bit of motherhood and lifestyle here and there. Today, I just want to share with you the things that I think that you will need as a new homeschooler in order to homeschool and the things that you don't. This is my opinion, so just bear with me. I left the good ones for the end, and I will be just doing an in-between. So I will be giving you one that you don't need and one that you will actually need in order to homeschool. You will see two boards in here that will show you just what I am going to or about to explain to you guys, okay? So the first thing that you don't need is a laminator. I know I have been one of those moms that have shared here on YouTube that a laminator has been making my life easier when we do a lot of activities or activities that I feel like I don't want my kid to ruin, or that we are going to be able to use them if we laminate them. We are going to keep them well. I express that. And while, yes, it makes my life easier, I consider a laminator not a need in order to homeschool. What you do need is a clear reason why you decide to homeschool. The reasons why you feel like you are motivated to homeschool. That is something that you in fact need in order to homeschool. That's something that I, as a new homeschool mom, suggest you that you should be aware that you have a clear reason why you decide to homeschool, whether it is because your kids were not doing at a public school or they were not doing well, whether it is because you want to be the one just guiding your kid on everything, including education. No matter the reason, having a clear reason why you decide to homeschool is very important. Number two, another thing that you don't need in your homeschool is a spiral bound machine. I know it sounds tempting, and let me tell you, I wish I had one, because I do like to have those books where you can just flip them completely, especially for me that I do a lot of car schooling, a lot of school on the go. And when I talk about school on the go, I am really saying actually schooling, not just taking some games for a trip or just some workbooks here and there. I actually homeschool on the go. I work outside, and I know it's easy for me just to have a spiral bound machine that will help me when we are using the books in our car, because it's just a little bit more uncomfortable, but that is not a need. What you do need is familiarize yourself with the different styles of learning, correct? With the different styles that you can just approach homeschool. Whether it's Jean Piaget, Montessori, maybe you're more on the Charlotte Mason style, but just to know the different styles, being able to just educate yourself when it comes to the different styles, and just being able to study those different styles to see what your kid goes more towards, what you have an affinity as a teacher with, what style, learning style you have an affinity, what is your learning style or your teaching style, I should say, and what is your kid learning style. That is very important in order to homeschool, especially when you're new as a homeschooler, correct? Number three, you don't need to purchase expensive curriculum. I know there's a lot of curriculum out there. It can be overwhelming. It can be stressful, especially for you as a new homeschool mom. And even for me, that I've been already years in this of homeschooling my kid, it's still overwhelming. And it can be tempting to just purchase the first thing you see because it's colorful, or because it's pretty, or because you think that might work with your kid. I know it can be very tempting, but you have to take the time to just make sure that you are purchasing that curriculum because you think and you're sure that it goes with your kid learning style. So it's very important that you just take your time to go through each website, to go through each book. If you are even able to just give a look in person to the book, having the physical book. Maybe you can go at a thrift store. Some thrift stores has a lot of books, homeschool books. Maybe you can go to your public library. That's another way that you can get to just have that book physically and just being able to look and see if that will be a good approach for you and your kid. And no matter if it's math, language arts, just taking the time, correct? What you do need is to have a budget. That you do need. I think that most of the times where I feel like I am in trouble when it comes to purchasing curriculum, because even though sometimes you don't need to purchase expensive curriculum in order to work with your kid, sometimes it depends if your kid has some learning disability, maybe learning differences. Sometimes those free curriculums are not that helpful, and not because they are bad, just because they are free, but sometimes your kid needs something extra, a little bit of extra help, and it might cost you more than what you were thinking about it. So having a budget is actually helpful, especially if you're new as a homeschooler, just to little by little separate something aside for you to be able to purchase those books. If you have any situation or anything that can happen that might take you away, and you might spend for that particular situation, and then you don't have anything to be able to just purchase or buy that your kid needs in order to homeschool. I think it's very important that you have a budget, just to make sure that you are going to have the availability to buy whatever it is that your kid needs for that year, correct? And I am talking with experience because I didn't do that this year, and I am a little bit tight with the things that I can purchase for our homeschool. So that is just a fact, and I think it's very helpful if you keep that in mind and just have a budget for the things that you guys are going to be needing in order to homeschool. The next thing that you don't need in order to homeschool is a homeschool room. Well, in fact, it is helpful just having that special space, a separate space for you guys in order to homeschool, because sometimes you tend to create a little bit of a mess when you're homeschooling. Depends if you guys are doing projects, if you have multiple kids. I have one kid, and I can tell you that we still make a lot of a mess, and we still sometimes I feel like we need in a specific place just to homeschool, just because of all the mess that we can create here in our homeschool, correct? But we don't have a designated homeschool room. I do have a few spaces where we homeschool. We homeschool most of the time. We do car schooling, so we do homeschool in our car. We do homeschool in our dining table, and here at the desk in our room, because I have in here at the desk, I have the bookshelf and my 3-tier cart, which I move pretty much everywhere we go, correct? But it's not a necessity to have a homeschool room, but it does facilitate things. I am not going to lie, especially if you have multiple kids. I think having that designated space is very helpful. As well, if you have some type of learning disabilities like ADHD or ADD, or just need that space to focus and be able to concentrate, I think having a specific place to homeschool is helpful. What you do need perhaps is to read every type of book that is related to homeschool, and the ones that are not related as well. Especially if you're new as a homeschool mom, you want to get as much information as you can. Just do some research, just read books that will help you on how to homeschool, books that will just encourage you and motivate you. There's a lot of homeschool moms that just have some beautiful books just to encourage you and motivate you. I think that's very important. So Read, read, read is a very important thing when you are new as a homeschooler. What you don't need is to limit yourself to homeschool within the four walls of your home. That's something that I learned very quickly, is that we can homeschool anywhere and everywhere. We have gone to the beach just to homeschool. We have done it at the park. We have homeschool just walking and learning without any books. We have homeschool in the car. We do a lot of car schooling. I think I expressed that already. And we homeschool here in our home. There's different areas and different methods and different ways that you can homeschool, that you don't need to limit homeschool to within the four walls of your home. You can just have a variety when it comes to homeschool, and that's something really good and very attractive, and the reason why I decide to homeschool. Lately, we haven't been going anywhere. We've been homeschooling within the four walls, sadly. Yes, we have gone to the park. We do a lot of car schooling, but sometimes you need a little bit extra, like going to the beach, or maybe taking your kids to the zoo and make that class even alive. So I think that it's very important that you take the time for that. And I am talking with experience in regards to that, okay? Something else that I think you need as a new homeschooler is the desire to homeschool, the desire to continue and have a community to encourage you. I think that's very important. Most of all, that you have that desire, that you feel how to get that motivation, whether it is because you're reading books that motivate you, whether it is because you give yourself the time to just research, whether it is because you have a passion for learning or teaching. I think it's very important that you find that desire, look for that desire, and that you try to, as much as I can, create a vision, create a mission statement, because those are things that are going to help you to homeschool as well, just to motivate you, to encourage you to homeschool it, okay? So that is very important, that you are looking for that, to just spark things up in order to get you with that desire to homeschool, to learn, to educate your kid. That's very important. As well, it's very important, most of all, that you have consistency, discipline, and a whole lot of grace, because every day is not going to be the same. Not every day things are going to run smooth. Not every day things are going to happen the way you have planned, and not every day you're going to be with the same mood and the same attitude. There's going to be days where you're going to feel discouraged, and that is okay. Just remember, there's one day after the other. As well, there's going to be days where you are not going to feel motivated. And it's very important that you give your homeschool to God, that you just pray, that you pray for Him to have control over your homeschool so He can help you out. That, I think that's very important. As well, to develop that love for homeschooling, remember that you are doing this not only for your kid, for yourself and for your family as well. Because when you homeschool, everybody benefits from that. Reality is, it's just more time for you to pass with your kids. Bonding is more time for you guys to get to know each other as a family. It's more time to spend together, more time to develop those relationships between siblings. It's more time for you guys to enjoy nature, to go walking, to enjoy spending time together. It is very important that you just try as much as you can to get that encouragement, to have that consistency, and a whole lot of grace. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you then. Bye bye.